Hello everyone, welcome. This video is designed as an overview of Lightroom. This might be the first time you've seen Lightroom. If you know Lightroom, you don't want to be watching this, I'll be quite honest. It's an overview of it. There's another one which has got, might be there or there, which is about the library module and all the bits into that and what you can do. And the next one, which be there as well to show after, is about the develop module. So we're going to break this down because otherwise it's too big and too cumbersome all for one video. So we're just going to do a quick overview of Lightroom CC. Hope you like it. By the way, if you're not subscribed, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe. Thumbs up if you like this video and find it useful. It really does help and I really do appreciate it. Without further ado, let's go and have a look at Lightroom and see what we got. So this is the overview interface, okay? I tell you what, I'm just going to put these bits back on because these I turn off. So this is what you'll be presented with, and at first it can be really confusing, okay? So across the top bar, you would normally have Lightroom over there, at the top there. I've just replaced it with my signature just because if I'm presenting to someone, it just looks good that it's up there rather than the Lightroom logo. And you can do the same too. Across the modules across the top here, we've got library, develop, map, book, slideshow, print, and web. We will come to these afterwards in separate videos, especially library and develop, because they're just too much for one video. Over here, we obviously are in the library module at the moment. If I switch to develop, the center screen changes and we have different options available. So we have different options down the left. We have the picture in the center, but we can edit with that picture now. And we have some options down the right-hand side. Map is a feature I turn off. Now, if we right-click at the top here, we can turn some of these features off that we don't use. And these are where you've taken photographs or where things are. I don't use GPS on my cameras apart from my smartphone. And I don't tend to tag anything, to be fair. If I did, it would show up in here and I'd be able to select stuff. And it's great if you are using this with your smartphone or a GPS enabled camera. Brilliant, use it, you'll enjoy it. I don't, so I right click and I turn map off. Book is a module that allows you to create books. Funny enough, and these are print books that could be printed, and it's been quite a while since I've used this module, but I'm pretty sure there's things like SmugMug or something like that it allows you to export to. Could be wrong. Let's have a quick look. So you've got book layout, you can choose your different layouts, and again, this is a separate module in its own right. I've got to be honest, I've not used this. It's not something I do when I create a book. If I was doing it with SmugMug or something like that, I'd do it on their system online and upload the pages individually into there and design it on their system because I know it's 100% compatible then. But if you're doing your own, this would be fantastic and I'm sure it's really good. So I'm just going to turn that off actually because I don't use books. Slideshow, now this is something that I don't really use anymore, but I used to use, and it is really quite handy, to be fair. It allows you to create a slideshow of whatever collection you are in. You can present it to the client. You've got multiple options down the right hand side here. You can have your logo on, you can have it to background music, and that's what I used to do. You can pick stuff from your iTunes library and just drop them straight into there. Fantastic. Have that set up, it just plays. So when I'm doing a presentation in-person sales, APS, which I don't do anymore, but I used to do when I used to do portrait sessions or pets or something like that. This is where we present the images, we then go through, star rate them and sell from there basically. A complete all-in-one solution, which is great. Nice and simple, you can choose which screen you play back. So if you've got a projector connected or a secondary screen, you can just project it off to that. So it works if you've got a laptop and a projector in your studio. Fantastic. Really nice little slideshow actually. Simple, easy to use, one of the better ones. And then you can do all your star ratings or color ratings, whatever, afterwards when you're selecting the images with people as well. Print. Actually, one of the best print modules that I've seen in any application. The ease of it, I think they take it from a library point of view, is that you're not just really going to want to print one photo. You want to make the most of it. So you want to print several in different shapes, sizes, put them all on. I suppose it is designed more at the professional, but if you're using it at home, great. It's not really a, let's just chuck all the photos and churn them out onto A4 pieces of paper or 4x6s. It is designed so that we can alter the layout, so I can have, let's get rid of that one. I can drop on a 12x12, an 8x10, an 8x6, and it drops it in. I can then move it around. I can decide to rotate that and drop it there and drop something else in. It's really, really good. You can set your presets up. You can set what your page size is. So I've got this set for a 17" by 32". I can do whatever. I can pick standard sizes as well. Obviously, I've got an A2 plus printer, so I've got the 17" width onto that, and that's great for this. This allows me just to craft and to put in. It won't print blank spaces on the thing if you don't want it to as well. That could be a print driver. But yeah, you've got so much options there. You can put some little borders around if you want to. What else have we got on here that's really useful? Yeah, you can do identity plates and that, which is, I think I have used this actually when I used to do, yeah. So these albums, which have got stuff in, you can just see, can you see there? There we go. That stuff printed, and it's got a little identity plate at the bottom there. It's got my name. And I used to print these as sort of lookbooks that I could go through with clients and show them previous work. And I'd have different ones for different types of work. I'd have some for architectural, some for products, etc. And it was great to take out and present because everyone loves seeing printed work. Yes, it's great online and it looks fantastic, but actually printed, superb. So from that point of view, really good. Nice little print module, drop your identity plate onto the bottom there. You've got all the extra little bits, print sharpening, 16 bits, etc, etc. Obviously, I use color profiles, so I make sure that I use the color profile so I know what comes out here is exactly the same when it comes out on the printer. And again, that's a totally separate thing. Web, another nice little module. Web, another little module which I don't use in the slightest anymore. I tried it years ago, and there used to be a little thing called the turning gate, which was fantastic. It's developed now to so much more than what this is. And it used to allow, or built into Lightroom, their web interface. Unfortunately, it is really, really bad. Not the turning gate, but the web module in Lightroom. Turning gate's fantastic. Go and check them out. In fact, I'll try and remember to leave a link down below. If you're into Lightroom and stuff for publishing your galleries, Turning Gate, superb piece of software. Use it for work, use it for home. Fantastic. Really, really good. It's developed a lot over the years. It is pretty neat. This used to allow you to create a web module in here from the photographs, and you know what? It was okay, but it was very slow, very clunky. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't pretty, and you used to have to change. Oh, yeah. Anyway, it comes with a few default templates so that you can upload to your website, which aren't brilliant. Go and check it out. Have a little play with it. Don't use it, really, don't use it. I can't think of a good reason to use it, to be fair. So again, I keep that off. And to be fair, I keep Slideshow off as well. I only need those three: library, develop and print for my everyday work. So that's your little selection options at the top there. It changes what's in the middle of the screen. Then the bottom bit here is your thumbnails, which stays consistent depending which library you're in. So that's an overview of Lightroom. Now, Lightroom is a catalogue. It allows you to catalogue your files, import them all into there. It creates one massive file, which is just information. It's not your data. It doesn't contain your photos in there. It contains all the data. So every change that you make to this photo that's stored over here somewhere on your drive, I would recommend that you create a folder called Portfolio or something. Has all your images in, that's where it imports them to. It copies them to there. Fantastic. This folder that just sits here contains all your information. So every time you change a color or you put a vignette on it or anything, it doesn't alter the original file over here. It just writes it into this library. This is fantastic because it doesn't alter your original. You still get your original raw. It's not altered it, not done anything to it. All the changes are in here. You can get it to write a little XMP file over to here as a little sidecar file, which signifies all the changes that you've done. So should you lose this library, you could just import that back in and it will just keep all your changes, and that's it, job done. So it contains everything in there. It's fantastic. I have it split up into 3 different ones. So I've got my personal library, I've got my landscape library, and I've got a work library. And I don't mix the 3 because I never need to. That allows me to open it up and see what I'm working on and to carry on. Let's go and have a quick look through some of the options. So we've got preferences and we've got catalog setup. Preferences. Okay, so what we got down here, the defaults of these are pretty okay really. If you've got multiples catalogs, you can tell it to prompt. If you just got the one, you can just load it straight in, that's fine. Show import dialog when memory card is detected. It's a great thing, makes you import stuff. Select the current previous import collection during import. So it remembers what you did last time and just carries on, that's fine. Ignore camera generated folder names when naming folders. Yes, I want to sort my own out. I don't want the cameras, don't like them. Treat JPEG files next to RAW files as separate photos. I don't do this. I treat them as, I just sort of discard them because I always want the RAW. Now if it can't find a RAW, because you haven't took it, it will just use that JPEG as the master file. I don't want the camera dictating to me what color grade and everything else to use, and I don't want duplicates of everything. So I just import the RAW, that's it. So I ignore that. Replace embedded previews with standard previews during idle time. So when you're not doing stuff, it's going to go right in the background and generate stuff. I don't bother with that. I'm not interested. It's going to take up too much time. I'm doing something else. I don't want the computer working on that. Little sort of ping sounds and stuff. Presets. You got different presets for camera, Adobe default. I leave this as is. I'm not playing with any of that. Show partially compatible developed presets. Because presets might not be compatible with certain cameras and things now, the way they've progressed, they've allowed you to do that. We'll come back to those afterwards, and then let's just restore all those. External editing, so you can set things up like Perfect Effects, Portrait Professional, Tap As, just going into your different things there. You want it as a TIFF, 300 dpi. I tend to leave those as default. The program that you install will automatically do that for you as a default. Don't worry about it. It's only if you need to overwrite that. File handling, import DNG creation. So they're going to DNG, lowercase, that's fine. These are all default to me. JPEG previews medium, that's fine. I don't need full res for that. Embed fast load data, yep, that's fine. These are all default. You can change these. Now, I think the only thing I've changed is replace illegal characters with an underscore rather than a dash. I prefer underscores. Interface, I think these are all default. This is just how it looks on the screen to you. You've got to decide for yourself what you like. Performance, again, pretty default. Don't think I've changed anything in there. Nope. Lightroom Sync, yes, I use Lightroom Sync on the catalogue. If you are, great, just leave it synced. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Display, yeah, choose a month, that's fine, it's already sorted. And network, we're not using any proxy servers or anything else. So that's your main settings. If we go up to here, we've got catalog settings now. And this is going to say, every time I quit, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to back up the catalog? Well, it gives me the option. Sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say no. Simple as that, really. File handling, standard preview size, discard one-to-one, so you can build one-to-one previews for working on. I always say discard after a week, because if I'm working on a job, I might create one-to-one so it's really quick to work on, and I can take it with me. But I don't generally need them after a week. If I haven't finished it in a week, so what? Rebuild them, that's fine. Sequence numbers, that's fine. Metadata. Now this is the option that I do have tick, which doesn't, is automatically write changes into XMP. So before, where I was telling you when you edit a raw file, it doesn't actually do anything to that raw file. So what this XMP does is when I do my changes, it writes a little file next to it so that you can always remember what happened. So if I lost this library, I could rebuild all my changes and I'm not going to cry, which I might do. What else we got? I have automatically detect faces and all photos turned off. I'm not using this in replace of Apple Macs Photos app. That's for my family photos. I don't want it for this at all. So I turn that off. It annoys me, don't like it. It's off. EXIF write data or time changes into proprietary RAW files. No, I write them into the sidecar. I don't want anything changed into that. There we go. And that's that. What else have we got up here? Identity plate, that's going to change where we've got Bacterial Photography, which is Lightroom on your version. That will change it to that. Edit watermarks. Yes, you can watermark your images when you export them. One of the beauties of Lightroom is that you can export all your images and you can do various things with them. And we'll come to that when you come to the library module and have a look at that. But yes, edit watermarks allows you to put different watermarks onto things. And we can go through, let's find the current one. So I've created these over the years and I've got far too many that I really should get rid of. In fact, oh, there's one. So I've got proof wrote all across it because it's designed as a proof. It's proof DT. It's got a little logo in the bottom left hand corner there as well. So you can choose where it goes. It's not brilliant, but it's good. There are other things that you can do as well, other plugins that you can add into this. And that's the beauty, is that people can write plugins for this Lightroom and drop it into there to create and extend the features. So that's edit watermarks. What else we got? Optimize catalog. That's quite important to do, but if you've got the backup thing every time you quit, it'll ask you if you want to do that at the same time, which is great. It's worth doing. What else we got? We can auto tether and import. So if you've got the camera connected, we can do things like that, which is fantastic. Manage plugins. This is where you can add your extra plugins that I was talking about. So this is the turning gate. I was telling you about the web stuff. JPEG Mini, because I want to compress all my JPEGs when they come out at the other end automatically. Don't want to have to do it afterwards. This is a little utility that allows me to do borders and different canvases and stuff. Don't tend to use it so much nowadays, but I used to. And it's still useful for stuff like that. Perfect effects. Yeah. So that's it really. Color checker calibration from X-Rite as well. Got that in there because I use that for work. And I think that's all I'm going to go through in terms of overview. So when we get to library, develop, you're going to see different things there. Go and check those out if you're interested. Hope that's just give you a little bit of an overview of the things onto that and a little bit of step forward for you. Yeah. Anything you want to know that's not covered in that and isn't covered in the library or develop module, drop a comment below. Get back to you. We'll sort it out. Maybe do a video on it if it's something that's worth doing. Brilliant. Thanks for staying tuned this far. If you did, if you didn't, then you're not seeing this. Like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Really does help. And we'll see you on the next one.